Hello everyone, Eileen back with you again with a card that features quite a few Lavinia Stamps products. It's a Christmas card, it's easy to do, it's quick to do, so it will be ideal, I reckon, if you were batch making Christmas cards this month, next month and December as well. Right, let's get going. I've taken a piece of A4 multifarious cardstock and I've creased it, cut it into a card blank measuring 13 by 12 centimetres, so 12 across, 13 centimetres down, and it's a 10th fold. And then I've taken a corner punch, it's one of these X-cut things, and I've just cut the bottom corners one at a time because that punch is not very robust, and I've just made it into a 10th fold card because I like 10th fold cards, but you could do it the other way if you wanted. Right, let's go. Piece of copy paper to keep the inside clean, because obviously as it's a one layer card you'll be writing inside. And I'm using 2 Lavinia Stamp stencils. The first one is Ivy, and I'm just popping that on. I'm not taping it down because I want to keep lifting it up to have a look to see how much ink I'm using, and also if the design is okay and the balance is right. So I have Distress Inks in Speckled Egg and Bundled Sage. Love Bundled Sage and I adore Speckled Egg. Just the 2 today. A makeup brush, this one is from Sweet Poppy Stencils, and I've taken a piece of, I never wash my makeup brushes, or the ones that I use for craft, because I don't use them for my makeup, I only use them for craft. I never wash them. I just get a piece of textured kitchen roll and just wipe any inks or surface away, and until it's reasonably clean, and then just away I go. So unless it's really smothered, I don't think I'd ever wash it, to be honest. Bundled Sage is a lovely green, and the pad isn't overly wet, so I'm just going to check that you can see. Yes, you can. So I'm just going to start down about 1 inch from the top. Don't want to go near the top, don't want to go near the bottom, or not too far to the bottom. So starting off in the middle with a sort of a dib-dab-dob. Don't go right over the other side either. You're just coming out. Don't worry if you get any splodges, because you will be able to put some blue over the top using the other stencil in a moment, so that will disguise any splodges that you get. But I'm taking some of the ink off because the pad is wetter than I thought. So paying particular attention to this side and then lifting up and having a look. Okay, so that's what I've got so far. Now I want to bring it out. I'm not too bothered if I can't get the stencil over in the right place again, to be honest. As near as damn it, but I'm not too bothered. Try and line it up if you can. It would sort of be a bonus, but so I want to bring it out a bit more. So I've got a sort of a triangle shape. Look. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Maybe a bit more up the top, and that won't need lining up because there's hardly any of the image there anyway. Okay, so that will be fine. So that's the green at the moment. I may need some more in a minute. So now on to stencil number 2, and this is very pretty. This is another Lavinia Stamp stencil, of course, and it's called Foliage. So I'm just popping that on. Same position, right over the top of the green. Taking the speckled egg and just checking my brush. It's a slightly smaller brush, this one. This is a much wetter pad, so I want to be careful. But I do need this to be seen because I do like this blue, so I'm going to be a little heavier handed with it maybe. As you can see, I'm sort of not swooshing because it just moves the stencil. I'm just sort of dib-dab-dobbing. Just have a look without moving the stencil right away. Oh yeah, that's not bad. So a bit more down here and maybe a bit more up there. Let's have a look. Yes, I think that will do it. Okay. Quit while you're ahead, Eileen. So it's not a bad balance, not a bad balance at all. So away go the distress inks, and then on comes the stamping mat. You can use the same piece of copy paper though to protect the middle. And now I'm going over to VersaFine Clear inks. Just checking that you can see. Yep, you can. VersaFine Clear inks, I'm using, I don't want the Nocturne yet, Rainforest, and then there's another one, and I've covered it up with my name. Anyway, it's a pale green, or lighter green. Verbrand, is it? I don't know. I've scrawled my name all over the top, and I haven't got a clue what it is. So anyway, you can tell. That's that, that's that. What else do I need? Oh yes, the words. Now the words are lovely, and they are called Spirit of Christmas. It's a long 3 lines, really beautiful. I mean, I'm not using them as the main feature. They are just to add interest in the background. So you're not going to read all of the words, but 1 or 2 you will see. So using the Rainforest, inking up, but taking off, pressing quite heavily, 2 generations of the ink. So I just want the 3rd generation, and I'm not going to press too heavily on the card. Starting at the top but moving over. I just want to check my card that I've done. Where did I start? Oh yes, I see. There. Try and make sure it's straight though. Like so. Not pressing too heavily. So you just get that sort of impression of a word or two. And then next one down, coming out a bit more, or over a bit more, so there's more of it. And then I'm pressing that a little bit heavier. So you've got, again, just a few. Maybe not as much as on the original. I might re-ink this in a moment. And then a bit more there. Going back again. Yeah, I think I'm going to re-ink this because I can see some of the words, but they're not as bold or as in your face as the original one was, and I think I do need to see them a bit more. So I've re-inked, taken it off again, and I'm just going to put them down. Oh yeah, that's better. Look, look, that's better. So you can save it. You can actually see them, but they are not 1st generation or 2nd generation ink, but you can see them. And I'm doing them at different widths going across. Okay, so that's that. Lovely. Now we're going to, or I'm going to, stamp the holly. Again, it's Lavinia Stamps Holly, and that's what it's called. Holly. There's a mini one available, and that's £1. I don't know how much this one is. It isn't huge, but it is a proper holly stamp, and I'm trying to see where I've put it. Where have, oh, there it is. There it is. So you've got holly leaves and you've got berries on as well. And I've got ink all over my hands again. I'm starting off with first generation of the darker green again, and that is Rainforest. And this will give me the position so that I can come out using the different colour greens to finish the image off, because it's 3 sprigs of this holly stamp is the main image. So that's nice. So first generation, and around about the middle there, I think. Hold it down. Just let the ink soak in a bit, and then down and up so that you get a nice crisp image. Be firm, but not too heavy-handed. Just wiping it off now. I've got a damp cloth. Just wiping the stamp off. And I'm going to go for the next green, which is this one, the paler green. Oh, I thought my dog had come round to say hello to me, but she's disappeared again. She came round, took a look, no food, I'm off. And she's gone. Now this one is the paler green, but I don't really want it to be too deep. So I'm going to take off some of it. Maybe, no, ignore that, I never said it. Just ink it up in the paler green and stamp it. It wasn't second generation, it was first. So coming down, let's just look at this. Can you see where it is? Yeah. So down we come, and it's going in there. Holding it gently, pressing it down and up. Yes, that's good. Right, I've got one more to go, and that is back to the original dark green again. So back to Rainforest, but this time I'm going to use second generation. So that's stamp it off and then lining it up, checking my card where I lined it up. Oh yeah, across there. And that went down there, sort of. Let it rest, down and up. Yes, I'm happy with that. Okay. Now, at the bottom, I've got a bit of white space that is not as good, I don't think, as the original. So I'm going to add a little bit, just a tiny amount of blue, just to get the balance right, because it's too straight. I want it to be, I don't want it to be a straight cut off at the bottom with the pattern. So finding my blue distress ink again, speckled egg. Just going to put a tiny amount. Yeah, okay, I hope you could see this. So what I did, I'm going to come up to the camera. What I did, there was a cut-off line, look, there, right across. So I've just added a little bit in so that it softens that straight line look. With me? Good. That's it then. Okie dokie. Finally, I'm going to add some colour to the berries. And I used watercolour markers. But this time I'm going to use pencils because I think I prefer them. It gives me more control. So I'm going to use, just pop in a bit of colour here and there. So that's these are ink tints, but you can use any crayon that you like. And then I want a bit of a lighter red. I'm just doing different shades. You can do anything you want there. And then orange. I do love orange. It just sort of gives it a bit of a lift if you use different colours. Or you can use anything you like. That's that. And then the final thing, I'm just checking the card to make sure it is the final thing. No, it isn't. I'm telling you fibs. So the next to final thing is gold pen. It isn't. Oh, there it is. It's a jelly roll pen. And I can't see what colour it is on there, but it's a sort of a goldy colour, a goldy lemon. And I'm not doing every image of the stencil leaf, but I'm just adding a few lines in here and there, random really, although trying to follow the lines of the leaves on the stencils underneath. It just sort of lifts them. But look, I'm not being careful. You can see that I'm not, well, when am I ever? So just a few lines just to lift and give it, and then that way it lifts one of the images out and brings it forward, and so that the other one sinks to the back of the other stencil. And that, apart from a bit of glossy accents, is it. So let's have a go with the glossy accents. I have to say, on the original card, it wasn't a huge success. I put 3 blobs of glossy accents on every cluster of berries, and the little devils all ran in together. So this one, I'm not being so heavy-handed with the glossy accents, and I'm actually keeping the berries so that they are separate berries. So that looks better. It wasn't very aesthetic, I tell you, but if you don't look too closely, then I'll probably get away with it. That's fun making this. So my lovely Facebook and YouTube friends, thank you very much for all the very kind comments yesterday, and the likes and very kind words and encouragement. And I hope that you enjoy doing this card today. Let me see what you do, please. I'd love to, especially on Facebook. And I'll be back with you next weekend with Lavinia, but I'll be back with you next week with, I'm trying to get a Sweet Poppy stencil card finished, and another one by Visible Image. So maybe 2 videos midweek as well. Thanks for looking today. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye for now.